Okay, what's up mga ka-nosebleed? Andito na naman tayo sa bago nating topic for the week. I hope safe kayong lahat kasi habang film natin to, malakas ang bagyo and also Halloween. At bilang isa sa mga nakakatakot na topic ngayon, Anzo. Yeah.
Yes, Andrew. Okay,
Ano
so
ang
yes,
topic
happy
natin ngayon?
Halloween, guys. Ayun, happy Halloween, guys. Hope you guys are safe right now sa mga bahay ninyo dahil bumabagyo as of we're recording this. Ang topic natin ngayon is, of course, sobrang hirap. 'Di ba? Sobrang hirap niya. Ang topic natin is, bakit nga ba hirap tayo mag-English?
Yun. Ikaw ba
Yo.
personally, Enzo, hirap ka mag-English?
Well, personally, oo. Marami nagsasabi sa akin na I speak good or I sound good. Pero personally, sa totoo lang, hirap ako. Hirap ako sa English, hirap akong isip, yung magsalita ng dire-diretso in English, medyo mahirap siya.
Oh.
And ayun, ikaw ba, Andrew?
Parehas lang kasi 'di ba, even though I've been in the business for over 15 years sa BPO and even though every day I'm speaking with foreign people, syempre hindi naman lahat ng foreign na kausap mo fluent din sa English eh. So, hirap
Mm-mm.
din ako in a way, but of course, every day is a learning process. So, hopefully may matutunan sila sa show natin ngayon and here's our show. I hope you guys enjoy it. And before we proceed to our show, sa mga hindi pa nakaka-subscribe sa channel natin, so click nyo lang yung subscribe button and also yung bell notification icon para sa next na meron tayong ganitong klaseng video, ma-notify naman kayo. Okay? And without further ado, here's our topic for today. Bakit hirap tayo mag-English? So again, my name's Andrew and my co-host is Enzo. Enzo, how are you?
Yes. Good day, everybody. I don't know if it's morning, noon, or nighttime that you're watching. Pero yon, magandang umaga o at gabi, mga ka-nosebleed. Welcome to Bats Entertainment.
Yeah. So medyo mabagyo ngayon. So sana safe yung mga kaibigan natin sa
Mm-hmm.
Bicol. We have a lot of friends in Bicol. Actually, I've
Yes.
been there like 2 or 3 years ago. Nag-support ako ng isang center natin dyan. So masarap dyan sa Bicol, lalo na yung
Mm.
sili ice cream. Yan.
Yon.
Okay. So let's try to introduce our guest. We have a very cool guest right now. We have a writer, a professional host and magician, and of course an international comedian. So let's start with our very own friend Jericho. Jericho, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up mga ka-nosebleed? Pwede ba mag-taglish tayo dito or
Oh,
what?
Taglish tayo.
Oh.
Alright, well, my name is Jericho Carillo. You can call me Jack. I've worked with Boss Andrew for like 3 years back in kailan, 2015, no? Sa Red Sky. And with Enzo too. So, that's actually one of the coolest years I've had in the BPO industry. And just want to say before anything else, I owe a lot to Boss Andrew for what I have in me today. So marami akong skills na natutunan sa kanya. So I hope you learn from this session too. Yeah. So right now, what I'm doing is I was recently assigned to be an SEO department head. Medyo bago kami sa work since work from home ako. But I've been in the BPO since 2008. Pagkalabas ko ng college. So yeah, we'll talk about those a lot. I'll share my experiences a lot later on. But that's it. I missed you guys. Medyo overwhelming yung experience.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
20,
All right.
2008 ka graduate ng college.
Yes.
Nice.
Yon, nagkalabasan na.
Pule, Pule, can you please introduce yourself?
Ako na ba? Oh, sige. This is my third. Magandang hapon. Gabi na pala dyan sa inyo. Nasa Thailand ako ngayon. So, Apolinario yung tunay kong pangalan. Narinig niyo ako?
Oh, loud and clear.
Yeah, yun na. Apolinario. Kasi, 4 years ako sa Sykes. Kailan pwede ba mag-name drop ng...
Oh, pwede.
4 years sa Sykes, almost 2 years as a researcher sa ABS-CBN, and then dito sa Thailand. Uh, I'm going on my 7th year sa international school also, and then on the side, I'm doing stand-up comedy. Ako lang yung Pilipino nag-stand-up dito sa Thailand, and I represented the Philippines twice sa Hong Kong International Comedy Competition, and then nakapag-gigs na rin ako sa Cambodia, sa Singapore, and last year sa Finland.
Okay. Well, naka-attend ako ng isa sa mga show mo
Wow.
rito sa Philippines like 3 years ago. Tama ba?
Oo, sa kasama yung Comedy Cartel sa Splice, sa Mandaluyong.
Oo. Yun, medyo may fan base na rin tayo rito sa Pilipinas ng mga stand-up comedy. Hindi yung usual na stand-up comedy na nakikita natin sa ABS-CBN or GMA7. So this stand-up group of people, medyo brainy yung mga stand-up comedy nila at medyo may mga fan base talaga. So good job, Pule. Keep the Filipino community proud, lalo na dyan sa Thailand.
Never pa ako nakapag-set ng Tagalog.
Ayos.
I always do my set sa English. Even
Which is bagay na bagay ka sa topic natin ngayon. Okay, so Chris, narinig mo na ba kami? Yes, we can hear you now, Chris. So Chris, can you please introduce yourself?
Sa labas? Yes, dinig naman. Dinig.
Okay, very good. Long time no here, Chris.
Oo nga eh. It's been a while.
What, 10 years? 8 years?
Oo nga no, it's been 8 years.
Saan ba tayo 24/7, di ba?
24/7, oo. Ako yung technical trainer nyo dati.
Kaya nga.
Ko.
Kaya nga eh. Asa ka ba ngayon?
Tawag dito. Office work yung day job. Pero yun nga, host magician sa weekends.
Okay.
Yun, so far I've been doing this professionally since 2013. Yeah.
Ayos.
Side job lang siya eh. Pero every weekend fully booked. Well, before the pandemic, ayan.
Oo nga. So later on, matatanong din natin kung paano nag-benefit sa yung English as a comm skill sa pagiging professional host mo and magician. So Enzo, let's ask the question now. Sige nga, pakitanong sa mga
Yes.
guest natin.
And so the question that or the topic that we have right now is bakit nga ba mahirap mag-English? Ayan. So I think we have yung mga guests natin for today are very good guests kasi they come from different paths of life, and I think yung English is something that I think they would use on a daily basis, 'di ba? So I think ito yung mga guests natin na sobrang sakto dun sa topic natin na bakit nga ba mahirap mag-English, right?
Okay. So side note lang, actually I've been trying to research about the topic for the past 2 weeks, and even if you check on Google right now and YouTube, i-type ninyo yung exact na tanong, bakit mahirap mag-English. Honestly, it's not gonna help you a lot kasi wala akong magsasabi talaga dyan kung bakit mahirap mag-English. I found one, it's a blog way back in 2015. Yan. But yun lang yung nag-iisa. The rest, ang ituturo lang nila sa'yo is kung paano magsalita ng English properly. Pero wala talagang nakakasagot kung bakit mahirap mag-English. So let's start with yung madalas ngayon na nagsusulat. Yan. Jericho, bakit nga, para sa'yo, bakit mahirap mag-English?
Mahirap ba? Actually, mahirap talaga. And hindi na natin lolokohin yung mga sarili natin. No? English isn't really our first language. And that's what I believe is a part of the problem. So, yung mga taong na-expose sa BPO, madalas itong inuuna sa training, yung first language influence or what we are normally known as FLI, yung Filipinoism. So, kasi, sa mga katulad nating Pilipino, no, nabuhay tayo sa English, fundamental part of education yung English subject. Pero we don't live to speak it on a daily, like how we are talking right now. We don't talk to our parents this way unless talagang mga nasa high-end, living status tayo. Pero yung taong masa, we're normally speaking in Tagalog. Minsan nga, tunog kalye talaga, no? But what I noticed is that, ako kasi, I grew up in my grade school, napunta ako sa Bicol, and this is actually what I found out. Nung napunta ako sa Bicol, I was forced to learn the Bicol language, or what we call yung dialect. Hindi siya talaga dapat dialect. Yung salitang Bicolano, napuwersa akong intindihin at matutong magsalita para makipag-communicate ako with the others. Now, with that very young age, na-formulate ko yung sentence construction, kumbaga. I don't know what it's called in English, pero yung formula ng way that you're going to present your thoughts and translate it into Bicolano, it's the same way that I also learned how to, like, hone my English speaking skills. Hanggang yung half of my life, hanggang high school, hindi ko pa yun napapractice in real life until I got to work professionally, no? Ang napansin natin is that yung thoughts natin, we would first think about it in Tagalog or in Filipino, and then translate natin siya sa utak, and it would take time. Mayroon tayong latency that we need to take para i-verbalize na natin siya. Which for me, in my opinion, personally, it would be easier for me to use English in written form kasi I have my own time to generate my thoughts in there and translate it in written form. Unlike pag nagsasalita tayo, marami tayong fillers, marami tayong mga words kasi todo tuloy-tuloy yung takbo ng utak natin, and we keep on translating everything. Tapos minsan hindi natin na-deliver ng maayos. So it's quite ironic kasi when you are watching YouTube vlogs or any real life episodes out there, yung mga ini-interview nilang Pinoy sa kalye, they're not as fluent as the other Southeast Asian citizens. Alam mo, sa mga food, mahilig ako manood ng food documentaries, yung mga episodes. Tapos pag kinakausap ng mga host yung mga tao doon, you would notice that they are actually more, hindi man grammatically correct, but they are easily able to express their thoughts. Unlike us, meron tayong kasamang jokes, tapos tatawa tayo. We're so animated. Yon. Masyado tayong maraming body language instead of the verbal communication. So, isa yun sa problema siguro ng mga Filipinos. Kaya natin sinasabi na mahirap mag-English. It's really easy for us, pero that's one of the factors. Second is the exposure and the practice. No, the longer that you practice speaking and using the English language, then the better you'd be. Hindi naman tayo lumaki sa exclusive schools to learn everything. Diba?
Tama.
So, yun lang. Oh. So, parang ako, for me, I grew up, I graduated in public schools, pero hindi naman ganun kataas siguro yung quality education compared to the private education, no? Pero, ano tayo ngayon, di ba? We are able to speak not really fluently, but at least comfortably the
Okay.
English language and use it for our business or, to earn a living.
Yeah.
Yun na.
Okay, that's good. That's good. How about for our professional host? I know, Chris, karamihan sa mga audience mo Pilipino di ba? Since you're hosting locally. But for you, gaano nga ba kahirap mag-English?
Well, ako hindi ko masasabing nahirapan ako kasi I've been interested in English. I mean, like our guests. Pero nakikita ko bakit mahirap for others. Okay? Ano yung hindrance, bakit hirap nga sila. It's not really mahirap, I would say. It's more on a couple of things. Ang ganda na point ni Sir Jericho about nagiging nakakatawa sila. It's sometimes kasi we make fun of it and we get lost in that fun feeling of don't English me, I'm panic, I'm nosebleed. That altogether is a big hindrance kasi we're stuck in that. Oh, it's funny. We're supposed to make fun of it instead of conveying the message across. Right? The focus is diverted somewhere else. Another is grammar Nazis. Ang dami nating Pilipinong grammar Nazi. That they're focused mainly on the sentence construction rather than the delivery of the message.
True.
I eat today. Diba? Or did you eat today or you ate today? Gaganunin pa natin minsan yung mga kausap natin instead of just accepting the message. Right? you mean you ate today, right? Pwede naman yan eh, di ba? Clarification lang naman din ang gagawin mo eh. But instead, there's an urge for Filipinos to correct the mistake. Kasi minsan, we feel superior, we feel highly, I don't know, I don't really, that's what I did back then, and that's what my ex did to me back then. That's why I strived
I think that's
further
what you
din
did
para
to me
mag-English.
back then, Chris.
Did I? Talaga?
Yeah.
O hindi technical
Yeah.
ako, hindi ako sa comics
Yeah,
lang.
but you're one of our grammar Nazis back then. Although hindi ka
talaga?
ganun kasing notorious katulad ng iba, but of course,
Oh,
you
sila
know.
ka rin ang grabe.
Oo.
Kasi their focus mainly is on that. And ayun din naman, that's a different case. That's a classroom setup. So the job of a trainer is to correct the mistake. But sa labas kasi, if we do this outside, there's lesser room for us to make mistakes and learn from it. And pag nagkamali ka kasi, you're gonna made fun of. Like merong pumasok recently, nag-post recently na about it's yung anniversary nila, nasa kotse sila, yung girl na nag-post.
Yeah.
It's something na ginawang kakatuwa. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just celebrating it, pero mali. So, ang notion pa doon is uunahin niyo yung paglalande kaysa mag-aral. But they're just having fun. So, I'm not saying na mali na i-correct sila, but then making fun of the instance is wrong, right? Correct it para sa akin. So yun, and dati kasi way back in the 90s, uy, grabe ang social mo naman, hindi na kita maabot pag nag-English ka. That altogether, yun, i-combine mo yung tatlo, nakakatawa siya, social siya, grammar Nazis, wala na, mahirap na para sa others. It's a hindrance. And yun na nga, natatakot na sila magkamali, natatakot na sila matututuloy. Hindi, magtagalog na lang tayo. Tayo minsan, ang tingin ko, tayo minsan na nakakapigil sa sarili nating matuto. Pero, if your will is to outpower that hindrance, madali na lang siya. Therefore, tayo dito, I think na hindi na outwill natin yung mga ganong hindrances. I'm sure na-experience natin lahat yun eh. Pero yung will natin is stronger than that. Ayan.
Okay,
That's
very
my
good.
take.
All right. Okay. So I think those are really good points. Now we actually we're going to be moving on to Sir Pule. Now Sir Pule, like what we said earlier, is a assistant principal in an international school right now in Thailand. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So now this is something that would really bring something to the table. So let's actually hear it out from Mr. Pule. Sir Pule.
Maraming salamat, Lawrence. Enzo. I actually have like two things to say about like locally and then yung situation dito sa Thailand, and like I have 6 points. I have 6 points that like 3 or 4 was already discussed by Chris, and one thing discussed by Jericho, but let me start with the first one. Bakit hirap tayong mag-English? Smart shaming culture. That's the first one. And I like what Chris said earlier na magtagalog ka na lang. Alam mo yun, pag may pinapost tayo na mali yung grammar, like they will just, sabihan na magtagalog ka na lang instead of like moving on or just scroll down about and the people mock wrong spelling, accents. Like yun yung number one na naobserbahan ko bakit mahirap mag-English ang mga Pinoy. Yung ikalawa is intimidated, not confident, since yun nga, pag marunong ka mag-English or pag nagsasalita ka ng English, it's a status symbol. People feel discouraged to talk to you kasi both of you will feel the disconnect. You will feel disconnect sa kanila, and then they will feel disconnect towards you also. Yung ikatlo is we feel inferior. We feel inferior kasi nga there's this thing na pag nagsalita tayo ng English nakakahiya pag nagkamali. So it's mostly like a mind thing. When I wrote they feel inferior. Yung ikaapat, bakit hirap tayong mag-English? Kasi for example, yung reading comprehension natin is plummeting. you know, like reading, writing is one, but yung understanding kung ano yung nabasa mo or sinabi mo is another one. Ikalima, bakit tayo hirap mag-English? Kasi tamad tayo. Tamad ang mga Pinoy. I don't know if you would agree with me, but we are lazy. And that brings me to what Jericho mentioned earlier, or oh yeah, Jericho. He mentioned earlier the words like practice. So we are lazy. Instead of practicing English, we would rather share unverified information sa social media. Diyan tayo magaling eh. That's what consumes our like social media time. Yun yung ikalimang point. Ang nilagay ko dito is it's not related sa question, but rather like it's a statement that we fail to capitalize or maximize as a Filipino. Na Philippines has the sexiest accent in all of Asia, and we are the 21st in the world according to you know big7travel.com. We never look at it as our advantage. Kasi kung siya yan yung ating unique selling proposition. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us stand out to other. So, the more na dapat nating i-promote yung accent natin, wag natin ikahiya. Kasi that's uniquely ours eh.
Okay.
So, that's the local side. So, bakit hirap ang mga Pilipino?
Well, that would bring me to my next question then. Kasi tama yung sinabi mo, it can be cultural or yung sa the way we were brought up. So, kung mahirap mag-English at nagagawa naman ng Thailand na i-limit yung pagsasalita, at hindi lang Thailand, kahit ibang Asian countries, nililimit yung English, pero nagiging successful sila. So, my next question to you guys is, kailangan ba talaga natin yung English? So, let's start with Chris.
Wait, ang tanong, kailangan saan?
Kailangan natin sa everyday life, like
yan.
work, studies. So kailangan ba talaga natin ng English?
Para mabuhay, hindi. Pero to have a better network, let's say, I'll speak as a host na lang ngayon and as a magician. Para sa akin kasi, magic breaks barriers eh. Magpakita ka ng card, bigla siya nagbago, you don't have to speak. Right? You don't have to say anything. Just watch. Sign language ka lang. That's already good. Just make sure na nakikita lang nila yung ginagawa mo. Yung bigla kang mag-puff ng kung ano man, may mangyayaring bagay-bagay, okay na yun as a magician. But it helps if you can communicate certain words. Hindi perfect ang grammar, but English, it helps. As a host, it helps a lot. One, network. You reach, dahil nasa Pilipinas tayo pag nag-English ka kasi class A, mas mataas ang bayad sa'yo. Kasi, they may have guests then that are non-English or non-Filipino speakers. Diba? So, having said that, like, madalas kong client, like, pag alam ko ng pag Alabang to, okay, may foreigner tong dalawa, or pag sa San Lorenzo, alam ko merong mga ganon, may mga foreigner akong makakahalubilo. And English is very, very good because some kids, actually if not most kids, cannot understand what you're saying. I've encountered a host naman na nagsabi na, you, give up to me. Give that to me pala. So, it helps a lot really when it comes to conveying the correct message. Lalo na, hindi naman sa pagiging grammar Nazi tayo dito but for you to for you to relay the message across, for you to give instructions properly. That's very essential when it comes to sa amin hosting better gigs, or not, I can't say pangit yung word na better hosting gigs that could be international level kasi nga may mga guests tayo na hindi Filipinos, and yun nga, better network. But if you want lang din, just kung tayo lang din dito, if it's just a local company event, that's fine. Kung sa hosting side, okay lang. You can get away with it. That's fine. That's totally fine. You can get away with, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Nandito po tayo ngayon sa, those are just 3 words or
Yeah.
4 words. Diba? You can get away with that. Just a few words kung sa hosting lang to na Taglish. But if it's pure English and you want to be spontaneous, you would need to work on it. So to answer your question, kailangan ba talaga if you want to broaden your network? Yes.
Okay, very good. How about you, Jack? Para sa'yo, kailangan ba talaga natin ng English? Kasi you're not only a writer, right? You're not only doing your SEO thing right now, pero madalas ka rin sa mga provinces tsaka may mga cultural na heritage sites kang pinupuntahan eh. So marami kang nakakausap na lokal. Alam mo
Yep.
rin yung mga business na lokal. So having said that, kailangan ba talaga natin yung English?
Yep. Well, since na-mention mo dyan, no, papunta na ako dyan sa topic na yan. I actually have a few names in mind na gusto kong i-quote. So, I think habang nagdi-discuss tayo about the English language strictly, no, napansin ko parang it turns into something of a cultural conundrum sa Filipinos. Conundrum, big word. Ibig sabihin, it's kind of, parang we're confused. Where does the problem lie ba talaga, no? Pero just to answer the question, I'll take it on a cultural perspective. Yes, we need English in our daily lives as Filipinos. And ito na nga, ipapasok ko na yung pangalan ng isang prominent heritage advocate, no? The late Carlos Celdran used to say, our lack of identity is our identity. Ibig sabihin, sa TED Talk na yan, sir. So, naghalo-halo na yung culture ng Filipinos, di ba? Back in the day, 300 years with Spain, and then 40 or half a century with the Americans and the Japanese, and then may Chinese pa tayong involvement, and then the Muslims. But predominantly, we were dominated by the English language, and yun yung pinaka-latest na superpower na nag-influence sa atin before we were brought into our own democracy, no? Yung American culture, imagine we were like sinasabi ng mga stand-up comedians, Philippines is like the Mexico of Asia. Kasi wala tayong identity. So, Southeast Asia is supposed to be dominantly Muslims, di ba? Yung mga nasa paligid natin, but we were Christians. And along with that, we were also the only fluently speaking in English na country in the region. Well, set aside, kahit na may compare mo sa Korea or Japan or China or mga progressive countries, hindi naman talaga sila ganun kagagaling or ka-critical pagdating sa language, ano. So yun yung identity natin na yun, I think the Filipinos themselves are confusing it with speaking English the best way or grammatically correctly is actually a way of life or status symbol, no? So no, parang pag magaling ka mag-English, magaling ka na sa lahat ng bagay or mas mas magtutunog kang matalino. When in fact, mas marami naman talagang Pilipino ang well more experienced than you are. Nagkataon lang na magaling kang mag-communicate ng thoughts mo, di ba? Kasi when you're, alam ba, magpa-practical ka, no, magtatrabaho ka in a specific field of profession, let's say farming or hog racing, poultry, yung bang mga caretakers nun, kailangan ba talaga nila ng English? Pero ikaw na magaling sa English, when you experience handling those poultry or the livestock, hindi mo naman sila mabubuhay ng English skills mo, hindi mo naman sila mapapalaki ng malusog, yung mga babuyan or mga manukan. So yun yung point ko. Culturally, yes, but practically, pagdating doon sa English language, I think it actually serves more of a hindrance sa progress natin. Kasi unang-una, sinabi nga ni Sir Pule, nawala yung pride natin as a nation eh. Kasi nauuna yung inferiority natin, and it goes, it spreads, it cascades to the entire Philippine Islands na hindi tama yung English ko, so I'd rather not speak about my thoughts, di ba? When in fact, marami ka naman talagang dapat pwedeng sabihin at magagamit mo para influence yung others. But then again, natatakot ka kasi you'd get smart smart shamed, ganon. Di ba? Mahilig tayong mga Filipinos sa ganon. So, yun, siguro, to answer it, it goes into different ways on how we are gonna take a look at it. Does it
Okay.
is it needed? Yes, in some ways, but it's basically a part of us na we some people would wish na natanggal natin, or some people would wish na na-improve natin, but the reality is it's there. It may be a flaw to some, it may be a gift to some, pero yun all we need to do is use it properly, use it appropriately, and the hell with everybody else, no? Kung kailangan ng English, then let's be good at English in a specific field, no? And then let's be good in the things that we should be doing, whether it needs English or not, to
Okay.
to do it. Yun lang.
That's good. That's good. Huli. Yan, being there in Thailand right now. Kailangan nga ba talaga natin bilang Pinoy ang English?
Yeah, syempre, this is like, it's a necessity for me because I teach in international school, so it's like English only policy. So, kailangan ko sa trabaho. So, and also, kailangan ko sa stand-up comedy also. And then, I used to do like TEDx talk also. And one time, like a Toastmasters. Mostly, it's like a speech thing. And I always say na yung ang tawag dito, yung public speaking is stand-up comedy is a form of public speaking. So it's a necessity for me sa trabaho ko na na lagi magsalita ng English. And it's like also like a promotion of us na Filipinos are like at par or even better sa mga natin sa ibang teachers. I actually have a joke. Let me have a joke first dun sa sinabi ni Basit Jericho. Sabi niya kanina na we are oftenly compared as the Mexicans of Asia. Yun yung isa sa mga jokes ko, na Filipinos are the Mexicans of Asia. We're both religious. We have the same name. And we panic when we hear the word immigration.
That's
Run, Jesus, run. Besame mucho.
lalo na yung mga nasa Canada and US yan.
Yeah. But this is one of my jokes na fits perfectly do sa usapan natin ngayon, because like there's one American teacher who are complaining that the students are getting Filipino accents in our school because we have a lot of Filipino teachers here in our school, right? And I said, if we Filipino teachers have American accents, then you wouldn't have a fucking job.
So,
You're welcome.
very good. So nagkalat ka pa dyan ng accent mo, Puli. Okay. So Enzo, I believe you have a
Yes,
question for them.
yeah, that's actually a really good point, diba? So, since this is of course a vlog or ano ba, a podcast or an episode. Ano nga ba, since we're helping out, Andrew's main point here in making this and creating the bats or the trainings that he is doing is to help other people. Now, I want to ask everybody here na what advice would you give to somebody who's basically having problem in speaking in English na mag-a-apply sa trabaho, especially in the BPO industry, or what advices would you give them para makapaghanda sila ng mas maayos? Let's start with Sir Pule. Yan. So yeah, let's start with
Salamat,
Sir
Enzo.
Pule.
It just pops up to me, dalawang bagay lang. First, huwag mong intindihin yung sasabihin ng iba. Hindi naman sila yung magpapasweldo sa iyo eh. Like who cares what others will say? And then just keep on practicing. May training eh. That's why there are trainers na aagapay or na magga-guide sa iyo. Walang pinanganak na magaling ever. Unless kahit si Batman yan, di ba? Di ba? Walang pinanganak na magaling, lahat natututunan. Kailangan mo lang talaga na mag-pursige, mag-focus. At ang pinakaayaw ko sa lahat is yung gumagawa ng excuse. I hate people who keeps on making excuses. Kahit mamatayan ka, I don't want to hear any effing excuse. It's not an excuse. Kahit ah kahit ang tawag dito, may bagyo or whatever, like ayoko yung mini-milk yung mga sitwasyon or mga trahedya sa buhay nila to justify not making up for themselves, or just keep on making. May mga ganyan may mga chronic na tao na ever yun lang yung, it's like a very toxic mindset na lahat na lang is kasalanan ng iba. Take a, take accountability of whatever's happening to you. Walang ibang walang ibang nagko-control ng sitwasyon mo kundi ikaw. So take control of whatever it is. And then sa pag-apply ng trabaho, I've been rejected many times. So rejection is part of life. Just keep on sucking it up and move forward. Darating din yung time na para sa iyo at saka yung trabaho na talagang sabihin mo na worth it, na I don't care, like for example yung sa pagtuturo ko, like I encounter many emotional breakdowns, like tragedies in my life, but kung habang humihinga ka at nakapagsalita ka ng English, like just keep on
Okay.
just keep
Very good.
on.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you for that wonderful advice. Now, let's hear it from Sir Chris.
Ano ba? Here's I can't really say anything if this applies to everyone, but this is what I did no sa akin. So I hope it works for you guys. Kasi sa akin, magic helped me out when it comes to speaking in public. Before I became a trainer, I was a magician first. So having said that, naging foundation, because I speak in public and I practice, and then became a trainer and I practice English. I became a host, professional host after. Yun yung progression. This is what I did. I had two modes, Filipino mode and English mode. So right now I can speak in fluent English, just pure English and thinking of English. And that's my mode currently. Pwede ako mag-switch. Tagalog naman dito. Mahirap magsalita pero kakayanin mong magsalita. Dire-diretso lang ng Tagalog. And yun dapat ang natural mong sasabihin at gagawin at iisipin. So two modes lang din talaga. When English, wag kang mag-isip ng Tagalog. Pure English mode ka dito. That's one point. Second, make mistakes. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Make mistakes often so you can reinforce the learnings. Kasi the more mistakes that you commit, the more it what they call this, it becomes engraved in your memory, right? That's one thing I believe in. Second, that's the second. Third, sabi nila, to learn a second language, the best place to learn it is in bed. So magkaroon ka ng jowa na English speaking, if that helps. Kasi ako, I speak French. Je suis un peu, je parle français, because my girlfriend speaks French. So it's a perfect way for you to learn the language, a second language, or a third, or fourth, fifth, if you want to. Sabi ko, practice as much as you can, whenever you can, right? And ito, mga barista sa Starbucks, hindi naman sila social, pero they practice every time. Grande Frappuccino for Andrew. The way they practice it is the way they would say it as if it's the correct one. That leads me to my next point, or final point. Sabi nila, practice makes perfect. The correct term is correct practice makes perfect. So if you practice the wrong one, one frappuccino, that's a different than one frappuccino, di ba? So practice mo na ng tama. Minsan mo lang gagawin. Magkamali ka na, and then wait, ano ang tama? Okay, ito yung tama. Practicein mo na.
Tama.
Andrew. Yeah. So those kinds of things. So again, have two modes, English and Filipino mode. Make mistakes often and learn from them. The second language is best learned in bed, or third, fourth, fifth. Practice as much as you can whenever you have the chance, and correct practice.
Okay.
That's my take.
Very good. So, Puli, dalahan mo si Enzo ng Thailander.
Oo. Marunong ka bang mag-mahjong, Enzo? Dapat marunong ka magaling kang
Okay. So let's go to Jack. Jack. Advice.
Nakamute na naman ako. Alright. Well, I was saying, those are actually good points. And siguro, natakal na nila yung ibang gusto kong sabihin. I'm just gonna elaborate some of them. But, um, in my case, no, the only thing that I can advise is, there are three things. First is, do continuous learning. Hindi porket alam mo na mag-English, alam mo na mag-arrange ng sentence in English, ando na yon. Marami pa yung marami pang layers yan. Meron ka pang informal English communication and meron ka pang business English na kailangan malaman. Meron ka pang iba't ibang ways of how you would express yourself. The same way as learning any language. Sabi nga ni Sir Chris, yung he learned French, I learned Bicolano, and it's basically the same thing, the same way, the same formula that you need to learn, no? Tapos, while at it, discover more, kasi hindi ka lang, kaya nga, mas maraming impressed dun sa mga taong wide ang vocabulary kasi hindi sila pa ulit-ulit and they are actually more expressive of their thoughts kasi there are many ways on how they can do it, hindi lang pa isa-isang words or pare-parehong pa ulit-ulit, no? It all boils down to basically be willing and do the effort to improve yourself in any skill that you want to learn in life, hindi lang sa language. So put an effort to it, hindi porket nagbabasa ka, basahin mo and try to understand it. Watch some English American movies and learn their culture. Try to emulate what the protagonists or characters are saying out there, diba? Like the baristas, like what Chris said. Yun. And in our case, sa BPO, yung mga dating nasa BPO, we didn't speak this way before. 'Di ba? Dati, sumasakay tayo sa Buendia. Puro ganun tayo, 'di ba? Ngayon, Buendia lang po, sir. 'Di ba? Ganun na tayo. Yung mga trainings na na-acquire natin as we go along our life, that's what we need to, parang use to improve this particular skill. It's not an exact science, so hindi dapat pag natuto ka ng formula, ando na yun. It's a skill, it's a learning process, do. Second is, yun nga, put it into practice and look for more opportunities for you to learn. So, in our case, swerte tayo kasi naging trabaho natin, part ng trabaho natin, and we are required to do it. But in some other people's case siguro, they may need to find an opportunity para ma-practice nila yon, para ma-expose sila so that they know kung tama ba or mali yung ginagawa nila. Why not start vlogging or ganon, for example. So, people will get to notice kung anong merong mali sa and be open for criticisms, di ba? Kung alam mo na mahina ka doon, then be open to yourself na dapat makakarinig ka ng criticisms about that. Kung hindi ka makakarinig ng criticisms about how things are, kung saan ka mahina, then something might be wrong, nahihiya sila or you may be coming in as strong individual to them na ayaw mong tumanggap ng pagkakamali. And then, kasama niyan, yung nalaman natin sa BPO is, when we got trained, we are never perfect agents that speak in English, diba? We used to fake it till we make it. And it's part of putting it in practice.
Yeah.
So, yung Buendia, eventually, naging Buendia na, di ba? Yung mga frappuccino, dati frappuccino na, frap lang yan. May rolling R pa tayo, no? Tapos, yun, be confident. Lastly, be confident in practicing it. Discuss with other people. Try to expose yourself. Kausapin mo sila in English. It doesn't matter kung magkamali ka man or not, no? Remember that when we're getting frustrated in the things that we are trying to learn, it means to say, it's a sign that there is a desire for us to move from that stage to another, from the unlearned to the learned. That's why the struggle is there. There is the frustration there. Parang sa muscle, di ba? Hindi naman lalaki yan kung hindi ka nagkakaroon ng pains para ma-develop yung muscles mo sa katawan. So, ganun lang. Yun, yung mga sana natutunan nilang na points from us, Sir Pule, Sir Chris, and myself. Magamit nila in the future sa mga trabaho nila, lalo na sa trabaho.
Okay.
Ayun lang.
So ito lang, bilang pang finale natin, kasi gusto ko siyang maging hobby ng show na to eh. Gusto ko lang malaman, bilang you guys speaking English on a daily basis, ano yung pet peeve ninyo sa mga taong madalas ninyong naririnig magsalita mag-English or mag-correct mag-English? Yan. Ano yung mga pet peeves ninyo regarding the matter? Let's start with Pule.
Probably kasi yun nga, writer din ako, nagsulat din ako sa Inquirer ng ABS. Siguro yung your, and you are, at saka short and long is siguro yung this and these lang. Kasi pag nagsusulat din ako, pag minsan hindi nagre-read and then,
Hindi nagre-register sa Marley.
uh, pag sinalikan ko na, parang mali ito parang, and I always try to write in an active voice. O magsalita in an active voice, hindi yung passive. Tapos, yun nga, yun lang siguro yung isa sa mga sinabi ni Chris kanina is, pag nagsasalita tayo ng English, tinatranslate muna natin from Tagalog word by word. So, let's keep on practicing instead na like make it more conversational. Like basahin mo, practicein mo sa isip how you would like to say that. Yun lang.
Okay. Just FYI, si Pule, ano yan, news editor ko dati yan sa Adamson Chronicle nung college kami. Yan.
Yo.
Way back 2003. Yan. Gusto nyo malaman student ID ko, 2003-1-2080. Tanda ko pa. Adamson. Okay. So, how about you, Jack? Ano yung pet peeve mo naman?
Siguro, unahan ko lang si Sir Chris kasi nabanggit na to eh. It's about the grammar Nazis and being entitled just because you speak better in English, no? To be honest with you, 90% of the time, yung mga American bosses natin won't mind us speaking in not so proper or correct grammar in English kasi they themselves are not even speaking it perfectly, no? There's really no perfect way of saying it. Kasi sa iba-ibang states ng US, iba-iba rin naman ang culture niya. Iba-iba yung meaning ng one word from another. And then when you go to UK or Australia or any English-dominant country, ganun pa rin, no? But what's important is you're able to express yourself clearly to them so that you can get your points across. Pero more on the technical side, I would agree with Sir Pule na kasi when you're writing English, there should be no excuse for you to write perfectly and grammatically correct. Kasi ando na nga yung time mo mag-isip at mag-compose ng sentences, di ba? And your thoughts, make it more creative, make it more thoughtful. So dapat yung mga ganun hindi natin pinapalampas. Lastly, yung kung magtatagalog ka, magtagalog ka na lang. Kung mag-English ka, mag-English ka na lang. I'm talking about I'm ready to get bashed. Yung mga conyotics natin out there. I can't blame them, but they grew up in that way of living, in that style na 'di ba? Let me just share to you my experience. Nagkaroon ako na out of town trip noon, no? Tapos yung van na sinakyan ko na service, ako lang yata yung BPO agent and then the rest mga exclusive school students. So the entire trip, siguro mga 2 hours yun, nagkukwentuhan sila, ginagamit nila yung konyo English na, dude, you know what, I ate to McDo last time and there was like, parang ganun. Well, we can blame them, no? Pero, di ba, parang ako naman, syempre, since ako yung minority dun sa group, wala na, tatahimik na lang ako. But, then again, if you're that kind of person and you're speaking in English and you're not, nandun ka sa Quiapo, fuck, don't do it that way. Kasi, talagang maano ka, di ba? Sabi nga, may saying na, when you're in Rome, act and speak like the Romans do. So, don't be so entitled, especially if you're a minority in that group. So, ganun lang. Do not use English as a form of entitlement for yourself. Ganun lang. Yung pet peeve.
Can I add something?
Alright.
Yan. Just to add to Jericho, oo nga, wag kang mag-English sa Quiapo kasi aarestuhin ka ng pulis. Visit sila magbenta ng TV. Yun lang.
Tsaka baka mawalan ka ng ulit.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Jack. Now, Sir Chris, what are your pet peeves?
Well, actually, dun sa entitled, parang sobrang relate ako. Hindi ako makapigil mag-react eh. Nakakaurat eh. Kaya nasa McDo. Pre, nasa McDo tayo. Maggumanyan ka, nasa fine dining tayo. Packing tape ang ilalagay ko sa bibig mo. Anyway, kidding aside, not just feeling entitled siguro. To add to that, how I feel about them is they're insensitive when it comes to their audience. Pag nag-uusap tayo, may audience tayo. Right? Kung gusto mong makipag-usap na maayos, wag mo lakasan ng boses mo. Wag mo na iparinig sa buong madla na, "Chong dude pare, it's parang," yan, nakakainit ng ulo. So, if you're like that, what are you trying to imply? Kasi, I don't know if I'm just speaking as a performer, I always think that I have an audience whenever I speak. So, hindi dahil I have to have a facade about that, but it's just that being sensitive to the culture. Ipasok natin si recto. Pag nag-English ka sa recto, Chong, saan po papuntang Buendia? Ganon. Pwede siguro yun. That would be acceptable. Diba? Pero, although it's a proper name. Pero the point is, maging sensitive ka kung nasang environment ka. Kung environment mo ay Americans, and then speak by all means. Pag Texan accent ka pa, then go ahead. Diba? Pero yun nga, sa context. Kung mga nag-ESL lang din, tapos nagpaka-American accent ka, that won't work. So the point is, are you translating the message across? This is what I've been telling dati when I was still training grammar dati. The point is relaying the message across. Doing it by all means, right? Because language is fluid. Nagbabago yan. Yung naging charot, naging chen, dami yan, di ba? And di ba? Nagbabago yan eh. Di ba? Dati, charing yan. Di ba?
Tama.
Naging char na. Naging chower na. Ganun yung spelling.
Chot.
Chot na. Tapos CHZ. Di ba? Chaz. So, nagbabago yan. But did you relay the message across? Yun yung importante para sa akin. Ito yung pinaka-ayoko. Sabi nyo nga, nabanggit, ang ganda ng points nyo about written eh. So, ito yung point ko. Pag nakabasa ko ng na-received with na past tense, nagiinit talaga yung ulo ko eh. Na-receive mo ba yung text ko?
Naboboard ako, sir. Ganun.
Naboboard. Diba? Ganito yan. Yun na nga. Babalik natin sa point ni Sir Jericho. Magtagalog ka na lang. Or mag-pure English ka. Diba? Nababagot ka. Diba? Nakakapagpabagabag. Mahirap sabihin pero mas mas nabibigyan mo ng meaning ang sinasabi mo. Diba? And ito pa. When I hear actually and basically, just as a filler, medyo nagpipintig yung tenga ko, pinatry kong magpigil. Kasi, do you mean that what we're saying is not or is too basic? That you have to break it down basic na para maintindihan namin? Ganun kami kabobo? Ha?
Or yan,
Ha?
literally, sir. Literally, you know.
Oo, talaga, literally. Hindi nga. Ang sarap ganunin. Pero okay, what's the message? Ganun na lang ako. What are you trying to convey? Yun na lang. So that leads me to my next point. May mga ganun tao, but then just be open. Let's just be open, guys. So, as much as we can, kung kakilala mo, siguro, and they're open for correction, it's not really basically, it's just what it is, right? As basic as it may sound to you, it's not basic. It's basically keme-keme. Just to yun ang naiirita lang ako eh. If they want to sound smart, it's basically doing this blah 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 blah. So you have to make it very basic para lang maintindihan ko. No, just to
Okay.
relay the message across, right? Not just for you to speak. Ganun.
Very good.
Paramihan ng words. Walang word count.
Yeah.
May add ako dun sa sinabi ni Chris na pag nag-English ka sa recto, malamang ang makuha mo sagot is bigay mo sa akin yung cellphone at wallet mo.
Okay, so I guess that wraps up our topic for the night. You know, it's a very good topic. Hindi, again, kung papahabaan natin to, aabot tayo ng dekada, 'di ba? Pero those are very good points. So, bilang last words, guys, any shows you want to promote? Like for you, Chris, I know it's still COVID-19 pandemic here in the Philippines, and in fact all over the world. Pero mahigpit pa rin tayo dito sa Pilipinas. Do you have like online shows that you want to promote?
Ayun. Thank you so much. Yes, actually katatapos lang ng Voice Night Out. That was every Friday 11 p.m. and magkakaroon tayo virtual night out. I moved to a different station na from VG8 Radio to a different one. So virtual night out. It's like this, but it's more casual. What would we talk about when we go on a night out? But virtually. So virtual night out siya. Another is Geek Clicks. It's gonna premiere next month then. It's all about geekery, toy photography, toy collection, cosplay, anything geeky.
Oy, sali ako dyan.
Oo naman, kasama si Batman doon.
Comic
Diba?
lover to.
Oh, di ba? Di ba? Di ba? Sama natin yan. So, yan, magkakaroon tayo ng episodes about everything geeky. Yan, lightsabers lalo na. And yan nga, Marvel, DC. That's one. And another, actually, meron ako, ino-offer ko pa rin ang services ko. This has been ongoing since the pandemic. Virtual icebreaker. So, alam nating lahat halos online. So, it would take you just about 6 minutes to break the ice. So, ano man ang pinag-uusapan.
Nakamute ka, Chris. Chris, nakamute ka.
It would just take you about 6 minutes. Sorry, it would just take you about 6 minutes to break the ice. So,
Teka, ano mo nagawa yun? Nakamute ka eh. Bigla ka nag-mute, tapos bigla na lang may lumabas sa bibig mo.
kasama yon. Pero yan, virtual icebreaker yan. Pinopromote na natin yung virtual icebreaker. I've been doing this since the pandemic kasi lahat halos online, di ba? So, madalas ang meetings natin, ang mga gatherings natin online. So 6 minutes lang, entertain natin lahat ng guests nyo. So icebreaker, virtual icebreaker by Chris
Okay.
Lina, the Honest Convo.
Very good. And how about you, Pule? Any international shows dyan? May mga guesting ka ba?
We're back to normal now, so may mga gigs na. I'm a resident comedian sa Kausan Comedy Club, but walang tourist ngayon, so my upcoming gigs will be mostly dito. So I haven't done any virtual gigs. Back to normal na dito, so nag-gigs na ako sa mga comedy clubs.
And Jack, any heritage sites you want to promote?
Oh, well, you can visit Heritage Conservation Society on Facebook and any other social media platforms. You'll find our works there. Medyo advocate na lang ako yan. Dati I was really active in the group. But yeah, go ahead and visit. And it's actually, it's it's the best time for us to visit at least virtually yung mga heritage sites. The National Museum is offering virtual tours of the Spolarium right now. Ang
Nice.
hilig ko na naman sa fillers. Sir Chris, naging conscious tuloy ako. But I would like to say, yung YouTube channel ko is Jack Gabay. Walang contents yan, but I'm planning to put more in there. Hopefully with the collaboration of everyone, especially Lorenzo, my guy, and Boss Andrew. And it's a privilege to be lined up as one of the guests together with these two top caliber public speakers and performers.
Likewise, like
Honor. It's an honor.
Okay, so that's it. So again, guys, I know we still have a small community right now, but from last week, 700 members, now we're up to almost 1,000. So meron na tayong over 950 members, and we're actually growing at least 200 to 300 members a week. So 6 weeks pa lang yung group natin, and hopefully with this, marami tayong matulungan. Lalo na ngayon, ang daming nawalan ng trabaho because of pandemic. Ang daming OFWs galing sa fast food, galing sa factory na talagang na-lay off sa trabaho. And I'm happy na meron tayong mga testimonials na the past few days na natatanggap na sila sa trabaho because of what we're doing. And you guys are really part of the help that I'm doing right now. And huwag kayong magsasawang sumuporta at sana tumulong tayo. Kasi in the long run, walang magtutulungan kundi tayo lang mga Pinoy, di ba? You can always go to anywhere, Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, America, US, Canada. Pero in the end, Pilipino lang magtutulungan sa mga Pilipino. So let's try to help one another. And kung meron tayong chance ibalik yung mga nakuha natin na suporta para sa mga kababayan natin, let's try to do it. Okay? Okay.
pahabol.
Go,
Pahabol. Since hindi tayo nagdasal kanina, magdadasal tayo closing.
Meron ka pa rin may pray over ka pa hangin dyan. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much guys, and you have wonderful weekends and stay safe. Okay?
Ay, nice meeting you. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay,
Alright.
so Ayan na nga, tapos na ang ating show mga ka-nosebleed. At sana'y may natutunan kayo sa ating mainit na topic galing sa ating tatlong special guests. Imagine isang writer, isang professional host and magician, at isang principal sa international school in Thailand, plus of course, international comedian too. So naway may natutunan kayo. So how about you, Enzo? What's your 2 cents regarding the show?
All right. So, this is a very interesting topic, no? So sa totoo lang, while filming this, I was actually chatting Andrew na sobrang solid ng mga nakuha niyang guest. And some things that I picked up from them is number one, if mag-English ka, I think it's really good to practice, right? If gusto mong matutong mag-English, mag-practice ka. Listen, like what we've talked about last episode natin, sa mga trainers natin. I think narinig din natin sa kanila na kailangan natin manood at magbasa ng mga English things or shows, 'di ba? So, ayun, practice and of course, be confident. Yun lang. Be confident lang din.
Okay. So para sa akin naman, bakit takot tayo or bakit hirap tayo mag-English? Simple lang. Yun nga, confidence. Wala tayo niyan eh. Parada na sinasabi yung mga Pilipino is masipag, magaling, madiskarte. Pero kung yung galing mo, diskarte mo, ay wala namang confidence, may hirapan ka rin makipag-compete, di ba? Kasi tayong mga Pilipino in general, satisfied na tayo sa kung anong meron tayo eh. We're not that aggressive enough to reach for the things that we really want. And yun yung bottom line kung bakit tayo hirap mag-English. Kasi para sa atin, sapat na sa atin na sabihin yung salitang frappuccino. Kagaya nga sinabi ni Chris, di ba?
Sabi natin.
Kesa mag-effort tayo na sabihing frappuccino. Kasi hindi tayo confident enough na i-deliver yung frappuccino na salita, di ba? Ayan. Although, syempre, naiintindihan naman, pero kung talagang hindi tayo confident in delivering what we are trying to say, then wala tayong mapupuntahan. Right, Enzo?
Yes, that is correct. And yes, guys, thank you for watching this episode of Bats Entertainment. Of course, weekly we are going to be shooting exciting topics. So, yun, abangan nyo yung mga susunod naming topics. And I'm sure like this one and the first one, magugustuhan nyo rin to. So, mga ka-nosebleed, until next time, my name is Anzo, and alongside with me, I have the host.
Andrew? I have, my name's Andrew.
So, papanindigan na namin yung mga nickname na yun. Alright, so guys, paalam. See you guys next week.